How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad, the DC Universe Geek, and it's that time again. We're going to review another episode of Superman and Lois. This time, this episode's entitled The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. Why is it called that? Well, we're going to find out in just a few moments during the review. Big warning, there will be big spoilers on account of me being big stupid as far as how to review TV shows and movies. Anywho, so the episode's entitled The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. And that's because, very largely, the episode deals with Jordan and his developing powers, and really both of the boys and what it is for them to be at school. Now, the show follows every thread line that it started, so there's a Lois portion, there's a Clark/Superman portion, and then obviously there's following the teenage boys. Lana's whole family obviously is getting screen time as well. So the show actually doesn't just follow the Kents. There's actually a little bit of attention paid to the Langs. No, not the Langs in this show. The Cushings. I have to remember that. Anyway, digressed. Point is here, the show is doing a fairly good job of following all of the threads that it's picked up with episode 1 and 2. It does come off still just a tad teen drama-ish, but it has to have an element of teen drama there because this really is a show that's being written and designed for the whole family. There's a little something for everybody in this show. And so the teen drama stuff, it doesn't really feel very teen drama-ish to me. It just feels like it's part of a complete story. Anyhow, so I'm not going to give you every plot point. I'm not going to make this a super long video, but I am going to talk about some of the things that I really enjoyed from this episode. And for starters, not a sign of Captain Luthor anywhere. Luthor is not in this episode at all, so they totally leave that right where it was. They'll pick it up again later, I'm sure, but no Luthor for this episode. The thread that I found as a parent the most compelling was actually that Superdad, Clark, has been listening in on the boys as they go to school. So the kids are milling around in the hallways and dealing with typical teenage stuff, and Clark's been keeping an ear out for them. I mean, we know in the comic books that he keeps an ear out for Lois and Batman's heartbeat all the time, and he's always listening to stuff. And this episode was cool because they kind of go into the idea that Superman can hear everything in the world simultaneously, and he's learned to kind of drown certain things out and focus on other things. It's very cool that you just imagine the amount of sounds that are coming into his head, and it took him a long time working at the Fortress to kind of learn how to tune those things out. It's fantastic the show actually tackled that topic. I really hope they tackle shaving. I want to see him shaving with his heat vision and a mirror in this episode. My life will be complete. I just got sidetracked again. Oh, look, a shiny thing. Anywho, so Superdad has been listening in to the kids at school, just checking up on them, doing his dadly thing. Of course, he wants to keep them safe. He wants to protect them, especially since, you know, Jordan does kind of have powers that are beginning to manifest. I mean, he's not on Superman level at this point. I feel like they will certainly push that forward more. But he does have powers. I mean, he is certainly stronger than the average kid his age, and likely faster than the average kid his age. And so, yeah, he's listening in. But I think the point is, he should be trusting him. He wants to give that child the trust and the distance they need. Because as a parent, I know that if you pull your kids in too tight, they're just going to rebel. They're just going to push away from you. Being a parent is this magical dance of giving them freedom and guidance and boundaries. It's not easy. So one of the times that Clark happens to be listening in to his kids in the hallway, Jordan happens to be getting into a little bit of trouble in the hallway with some of the jerk jocks, the football players, and instead of letting Jordan deal with it himself, and you could see that Jordan was getting angry in the scene. His eyes were beginning to glow a little bit red with heat vision. He's clenching his fists. They made a big point to show that he was getting pissed. Although he didn't do anything. He didn't act. Because Clark shows up. He goes from the farm to the school in the blink of an eye, and he's right there in the hallway. Oh, hey guys. Trying to act like he just showed up, you know, to say hi to the kids or give them their lunch. I can't remember what it was, but there was a Clark reason for him being in the hallway. I'm recording this video 2 days after watching the show, and I didn't take any notes because taking notes would wreck it for me. I just want to watch it. Obviously, the kids aren't happy with Superdad listening in and showing up to save their butts at the last second, which they've left ambiguous to the idea that did Clark actually stop him from having a really bad knee-jerk reaction, or would he have dealt with it and kept it inside? We really don't know. That is left ambiguous. And we do know that Jordan really has some teenage issues that he's dealing with here. Issues of anxiety, issues of feeling like he's second best. Well, what does Jordan do but join the football team? And why does he join the football team? Well, I think at first he joins the football team to kind of show the jocks that are relentlessly bothering him and bullying him in the hallways of the school that he might not be someone to reckon with. I can take you down. But he does it in a safe, kind of calculated, controlled way where he doesn't get into a fight with them in the hallway. Instead, joining the football team and getting on the field for practice and then taking them down during practice with enough force to let them know, hey, buddy, yep, I'm not the easy target you think I am. I don't know if that's exactly what he's thinking. I could only assume that that's kind of the mindset. But in the end, he decides that he likes football and he wants to keep playing. Jordan likes being a football player. He feels like he's got some purpose. He feels like he's naturally good at it. He's got this gift, so why not use it? Now, of course, when Super Dad finds out about this, Clark isn't really happy that Jordan has joined the football team. He feels like it's not safe. Of course, he's thinking about other people. He's thinking about Jordan. He's thinking about the other students. He's thinking about the secret getting out. There's umpteen reasons why a hormonal teenage boy who's dealing with identity issues and self-worth and value issues and teenage crushes and bullying probably shouldn't be joining the football team. But you know Clark, he's ever hopeful, and in the end, in the same way that he decided that he wasn't going to be watching the boys anymore, because the next morning there was a conversation outside where he was like, I'm sorry, you're right, and I won't listen in anymore. So Clark has some hope, and he's giving people a chance to show themselves and to shine. There's a moment of conviction where he might not let him be on the football team. And actually, this is the beautiful brother relationship of the episode here. It's actually Jonathan, who was previously the football star. That was his identity, or a large part of his identity, who goes to bat for Jordan so that Clark will let him stay on the team. He presents a case for Jordan remaining on the football team. That is brotherly love right there, because clearly, the coach likes Jordan on the team more than Jonathan. He's more of a value. The coach makes Jonathan take laps for not telling him that his brother was really good at football. So he's directly getting negative consequences in more than one regard for his brother being on the football team. And he loves his brother, and he goes to bat for him and convinces his father. He says the right words, the right magic words, which convinces his father that maybe he should take a chance and allow Jordan to stay on the football team. And on the Superman end of things, he's not in it that much. And I understand why. The special effects, the CGI, has to be pretty expensive. Battlestar Galactica, they would sometimes blow their budget on special effects for a few episodes, and you wouldn't see as many special effects for a couple episodes because they would have a couple really big scenes in other episodes. And I feel like with the CW Superman and Lois, they're really trying to not overdo that part of their budget. And you know what? It makes sense, because the show isn't just about Superman. I would not want the show to just be about Superman. This show, to me, comes off more like 90s Superman comics, where really Superman was a huge part of the focus, but they also focused on Jimmy, and they focused on the day-to-day aspects, and they focused on Lois, and they focused on Clark's life, and how everything kind of went together, and how him being Superman affected all that. And I feel like this show is doing something fairly similar to that as well. But the Superman scenes were fantastic, as short as they were. Superman really wasn't on screen for very long. There were two key scenes where Superman was in this episode. In the beginning, there's a scene where Superman hears all the way on the other side of the planet this bridge that is beginning to collapse, and he flies all the way around the world and saves the people there. It's a spectacular scene. And then there's a second scene where, and this is another story point that a thread that they're building, is Lois Lane, while she's been doing her Lois Lane intrepid reporter thing, she is trying to tracked it. You know what? I'm going to leave those plot points for you to watch the show. She's doing her reporter sleuthing, and she ends up by herself, vulnerable, in a motel in like the next town over. And what do you know? There's someone there waiting for her. We'll just leave it at that. Someone very powerful and very bad. Of course, she's going to call her husband. She got the little clicky dude, the little light up buzzy Zippo, and she calls, her husband comes, bang, right through the wall, and then there's a fantastic little beatdown in the hotel room where they're fighting each other, and Superman even gets knocked out for a minute, and I'm looking at this scene going, who the heck is he fighting? This isn't Metallo. Who the heck is this? Which I'll get to in a second, my theories about it. But the special effects for Superman in this show are always top notch. We get to see, I think for the first time also, him using his freeze breath. And he freezes the guy. I personally think he should have done the whole freeze him and then heat him up real quick. Or was it heat him up with the heat vision and then freeze him really quick and then punch him and shatter him into pieces? No, I'm kidding. Superman isn't going to kill a guy in the show. That was a joke. That wasn't a very funny one though. If he was a robot, he could do that, but this guy's obviously a living being. And one thing that you could see in this scene, though, is that Superman takes a beating and actually gets knocked out, but that's because he's holding back. When Superman decides, okay, this guy's a bit more of a threat, he ends up flying back and forth on either side and just slamming the crap out of him and knocks him out, punches him right through the wall. I do kind of wish, though, I will tell you this, they don't really pick it up. Once the guy gets blasted through the wall, at least in the episode, in what I viewed of it, which is, in Canada, I have to watch it on CTV Sci-Fi. Maybe they cut something out, and maybe on the CW, there's a couple moments that I missed. They kind of leave it there. Like, they don't really explain where the guy went. Nothing. And the next time we see him, he's in a car driving down the road where someone lands in front of him with heat vision eyes and just totally obliterates him with heat vision, which... wow, Superman could have done that all along. Again, that shows that he's holding back all the time. But then the question is, why does this woman have heat vision who's taking care of this guy? Is there genetic manipulation happening, which I think is probably the case? I don't think that these are Kryptonians or Daxamites. At this point, I tend to think that someone is doing something with temporary or genetically modified Kryptonian powers. But I don't know. I mean, they could be Daxamites. There could be other Kryptonians. I hope they're not. I really hope they decide to go down the route of genetic modification. I'm not an Easter egg finder. I watched the episode once, occasionally twice, and I miss a lot of stuff. So this is all just speculation. The point is, I really enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed every previous episode. I can't wait for the next 2 episodes. I think everyone is killing it in their roles. The threads, the story threads that they start, they seem to do a very good job of continuing down those threads with each individual character. And it's no wonder that the CW has already greenlit season 2 of Superman and Lois. Because this is the show. This is the show that I've been waiting for as far as a Superman show. It's smart, it's clever, it's well filmed, it's well dialogued, it's got plenty of heart, and at its core, it is a family show. It's a show about a family. And I would even say that Lana is kind of family as well, because they've known each other so long, which would kind of make her sort of family as well. Even though there is kind of a budding romance as well going on, between some of the kids. This is a family show at its core. It's got a lot of heart, and I really, really am liking it so far. Anyway, that's all I have to say, I guess, about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you with the next one. Bye for now.